Hello, and welcome to another episode of Kawaii Fox News. Today we will be talking about why there are so many fox pals in Palworld and why it matters. I've been playing Palworld recently, and while I haven't beaten the game, there is one thing in particular I noticed. There's a lot of fox pals. Well, there are also a lot of bird pals. That's to be expected because flight is one of the main ways to get to difficult to reach places in Palworld. Along with making it to the many Palworld islands. Foxes in Palworld don't give a similar unique function unless they do. What am I talking about? Well, some foxes can be ridden, others can use the kindling skill or handiwork, but none of those are unique to foxes in Palworld, like flight is to the birds. So, what special ability could be left? Their moves? So far that I've seen, there's nothing special. Actually, their appearance that is paramount. Foxes in Palworld come in all different shapes and sizes, but there is one universal thing connecting all of them. They're cute! Every fox in Palworld is cute. Objectively. You can't argue. People measuring cuteness comes from child nurturing instincts. Human babies are helpless and need to be taken care of constantly. There are 3 ways human instinct is generally programmed to nudge humans in the way of taking care of babies. Number 1, how the baby looks. Big eyes and a big head comparative to a body is how babies look. And it's what makes the cute receptors go off. Number 2, touch. Baby skin is soft, just like how fluffy animals are soft. Number 3, sound. Babies make incomprehensible high-pitched noises, which humans generally find cute. Now, to look at foxes. They have big eyes. The illusion of a big head is made stronger by their large ears. And they have a long, fluffy fur. And they also make high-pitched noises, like so. Therefore, foxes are objectively adorable. All these foxes in Palworld generally share the same traits. Big eyes, big head, or something that makes the illusion of a big head, and notable long, fluffy fur. Wixen and Foxicle, for example. So, foxes are all cute. How does that correlate to their importance in Palworld, or why there are so many different ones? Many animals are cute as well, after all. The hand-waving person might say that foxes are adaptable, and that's why there are so many of them. But I am no hand waver. I am an artist. And with artistry comes deeper thought. Foxes are a particularly cute animal. Most Palworld pals are designed to be cute. They are mostly designed in that way to create the fantastical monster summoner feel that a lot of games have. Games particularly aimed at younger audiences, like Digimon, Monster Hunter Stories, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and even Skylanders. It's quite possible many cute pals are added to attract a younger audience that generally gravitate towards games that are pleasing to the eye. But Palworld wasn't ever made for a younger audience. That was always a facade. Because Palworld is a horror game. Not the horror that grips you through loud noises, dark atmospheres, and slow tension, but a psychological horror, one of the mind. The game shows cute battle creatures in your face, like the games that came before it. But it critically answers all of the uncomfortable world-building questions that someone might darkly ask while playing a monster catcher game. A softball example is that the monsters don't attack you, the monster that you sent out. Even if the monster takes too much damage to be usable, the monster doesn't attack the player. And some of the Monster Summoner games have addressed this, and the player does get hurt. Another softball is fair fights. No monster is gang up on just the monster the player has. They patiently go one at a time, even if the location is in wilderness. In a functioning world, why would the creatures do that? One of the most notable hand-waved questions is this. If you can forcibly capture monsters, or pals, then couldn't you capture humans? Palworld answers this question. Yes. Forceful enslavement of humans to do your bidding unquestionably, no matter how miserable they get, because they cannot leave. In Palworld, all pals and humans can be forced into slave labor according to their skills. They can also work back-breaking labor that will make them miserable until their bones break and their sanity gives out. A feature of keeping your PAL sweatshop running in Palworld is the SAN mechanic, which I'm assuming is short for sanity. Long baths and good, well-prepped meals and nice beds can keep sanity high, as well as a workload that isn't too rough. Keep in mind that this isn't a happiness meter, or at least I don't think so, but a meter for how sane the PAL or human is. This is horrifying, and to use this unpaid labor is part of the game loop. Of course, surely the pals don't have the sentience of a human, so it isn't as bad as long as humans aren't enslaved. right? The game thinks so. Adding catching pals on Galapagos is considered inhumane, as one of the quotes after you catch a human. However, the game doesn't punish you for keeping these humans. No one bats an eye if you attack a wandering trader and add them to your collection. So you can buy and sell at your convenience. This is the same for the tower bosses and any human that attacks you first. The consequences of attempting to take a human, that is a tooltip human, or a village citizen, is level 40 guys with guns that endlessly spawn until you die. As soon as you respawn, however, they don't come back. And you will still have that human in your PAL box. Humans have no special skills, and the game tells you as such. But another question comes up. What if the attack moves that monsters use, humans can use? As long as you supply the bought or found object that can give monster a free extra move. And the answer is yes. Despite not having a set typing, humans can use the magic attack moves that pals have, blurring the lines ever so much further. People have weaponry, sometimes modern, but don't use it against monsters. You have to fight monsters with other monsters instead. Why should that be a barrier? Palworld asks. Pick up your gun, kill it yourself. And yes, it is murder. It's murdering a pal. It makes no sense why you can't catch a pal if it's fainted. Unless it's something that isn't alive. The birds even come down and eat the corpses of the fallen. And as previously stated, Palworld doesn't pull any punches with the incongruency of the mind in these types of games. What would you do to a pal in a desperate situation when you might need food or pal resources? Could you kill your own monster that you caught, that you're supposed to share a tight bond with? Palworld again says yes to this uncomfortable world-building thought. Not explicitly stated. The butcher knife you can get early on in Palworld allows you to kill your pals, including humans, I believe. The butcher knife. The power is at your fingertips to murder your own companion that you're supposed to be friends with, supposed to form bonds with. Speaking of which, The last uncomfortable question. Are the monsters sentient? If they are, that means they'd be dateable. And well, Palworld announced a visual novel dating game where there's a selection of pals to date. Humans, too, technically. But they all go to the same school and communicate on the same level. It certainly sounds like they're sentient creatures on the thinking level of humans. Notably, one of the dateable characters is a fox, or at least very fox-like. I'm not quite sure if it's a fox or a cat. Catchers. In the trailer, the cute fox suddenly has a dark, scary side when her efforts fall through. Same for another character. The game is also labeled as horror. This game was announced on April Fools, and although it looks like a spin-off game, the credibility of the game for canon world building skyrockets when Lavander, the pal in the main game, is said to couple with humans on its own volition. So this means that not paying at least some of the pals for their labor and forcing them to work would be considered slavery. How does this necessarily make Palworld a horror game, though? Morally questionable things happen in games all the time already. Well, unlike in GTA 5, destroying all sense of morals is not optional. To progress the game, you must catch and enslave sentient beings, force them into battle, and shoot and kill them when they're just minding their own business in the wild. You, the player, have to commit this horror in the game to progress. You and your character simultaneously doing horrendous, unthinkable acts to keep going. Slaughtering entire places of people, enslaving previously unwilling participants. That is why Palworld is a horror game. It's also why there are so many foxes. Cute, cuddly creatures. They make you unassuming, unsuspecting. But foxes have become a symbol of deceit. The game deceives you in its harmless beginning, and as you progress, you become more and more of a monster. You might not even realize it either, because the fox's nice, soft pelt. But if you stare at the creature's face for long enough, you'd see the reflection of what you've become staring right back at you. That's why there are so many foxes in Palworld. It's a message. Cotton candy wrapped message, but a message nonetheless. Every fox you encounter or forcibly breed, a showcase of the deceit the game reveals to you. The world would really be like if we could catch things inside our little spheres, hidden behind walls of fluffy cuteness. That's it for today.